Hey everybody, Kenny here. Welcome back to our last Epoch Falconer playthrough. Last time we made it to chapter 9. This will technically be my first time actually playing through this specific act. Like I mean, if you saw my Sentinel build video, that character did get maybe halfway through chapter 9. I honestly don't, since I've never finished that chapter before. I don't know exactly how far they got into chapter 9, but they played some ways into chapter 9, and and the reason for that was like that character, since it was the first character that I made a build video for, I discovered like the moment that I started making the build video, like I realized that like a bunch of the interactions that I thought existed with that build didn't actually exist. So I had to like almost completely retool it from the ground up. So I had to play that character up to the point where like all of their skills were all caught up to each other, which required playing all the way through chapter 8 and like halfway through chapter 9. Actually, so if we look at the map, it'd probably tell us like how far. So he got up to here. Yeah, so I'm guessing that either this or this is the end of maybe this. Either right here or right over here is the end of chapter 9. And if either of those are the case, then I think they start off by having us do something here. Then we go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And okay, so from here you actually gain access. So I guess that's funny. So I got to this town, but I never went to either of these areas because the guilds weren't in the game yet when I did that with that character. So this is where the this is where the factions come into play. That's funny. Yeah, so how do you actually get there? You're not seeing a line that leads to this part. So I guess maybe whichever one of these you pick leads to this part. So assuming that's the case, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. Yeah, so I was a little less. So I've played up to a little less than halfway through this chapter. This will be my first time playing through the full chapter. Yeah, but with my paladin, like originally that character, their main skill was a smite with multi-strike, and then what's it called? Like Sigils of Hope or something like that. So if you've seen that video, like, I don't have Sigils of Hope or multi-strike in that build. And I didn't have and like until I made the change, like I didn't have. Let me go to my. Can't remember the name of that skill right now. Didn't have judgment. There we go. Like I didn't have judgment in that build until after I went and started changing things around. So my paladin build was changed to being a smite build that included judgment. And oh yeah, holy aura wasn't in the build either. So the only so the only skills that were actually part of the original build that were in the one that I made the video for were smite, javelin, yeah, just smite and javelin. I only had two skills from the original build in the final build, because it turned out that when you use javelin, there are two major modifiers to it. There's one that turns javelin into like a little beacon thing that causes it to, that if you invest far enough into it, causes the little like standard to go and fire off smites at enemies that are in range of it. And then there's another one that makes it that you when you throw the javelin, it leaves behind, like like when you fight those like weird like angel robot things, like the ones that they fly down in like a spiral form, and then when they land, like they like throw like fire frisbees, and they leave like a trail of fire thing. One of the things you can do with javelin is make it that it does that, does that like trail of fire from that enemy. But I didn't realize that skill, that alteration, didn't work with the one where like you put down like the little standard. Where the javelin turns into a little flag that fires off the smites. So like the whole time, like I thought that like when I threw down the standard, like if enemies like ran into it, that they were taking damage from the smites, and that there was like an area of damage that was happening at the same spot. But that isn't how it works. Like it's like if you take the thing that turns it into the flag, then you disable the one that turns it into the path of fire, or the path of fire and lightning. So so if you want the path thing, then you can't get the smite thing. And if you want the smite thing, you can't get the path thing. It's an either-or situation, which like the only reason like you can even find out that that's the case is if you go and you check the alts. Like if you go into skill description where it says alt for more information, like inside of the alt, it said like it said this disables, like then it said the name of the like, oh, like all of the like the little hexagon ones are the ones that do the special things. So to say like like this one doesn't have an alt on it. Here we go. So it would say like in the more information, it would say that Itohui disables the benefits of Umbral Remnants, It was that kind of thing. And then the reason I removed multi-strike was that multi-strike multi-strike in that build, the idea was that, like, there's an upgrade to multi-strike that makes it that the extra the little swords that you summon with that build turn into just smite bolts. So you hit an enemy with it, and then like a bunch of smites fly down. But the issue with that one is that when you use multi-strike, and this was just that me misunderstanding the way multi-strike worked. When you use multi-strike, the extra hits only hit surrounding enemies. So, like I would go and hit a boss, and the smites wouldn't be happening, and I wouldn't understand why. And then after a while, I realized that it was that, the smites only happen against enemies other than the enemy that you're hitting. So that wasn't a useful skill to have in that build. I switched it to Rive. And the reason that I switched to Rive wasn't that like Rive has any kind of synergy with Smite at all. It was that Rive is a really good skill for going and building your mana back up as a paladin. And as that, and that build, like, it is a mana deleter. That build, when you use it right, your mana just disappears. So, you burst really hard, and then you go and you start using Rive to get back your mana, which at the same time, like I had set up so that way, you'd be firing off like holy bolts, and it would have like an interaction with with the Holy Aura to be able to like use a special like fire explosion thing. And then like the Sigils of Hope, the reason I got rid of those was that like the main purpose of using those in the build was that those would massively increase your healing effectiveness. And if you saw if you look at my stats in that build, like I had a massive amount of healing effectiveness in that build. Just a stupid amount. And the reason for all the healing effectiveness was because when I was spec'd into the Javelin upgrade that made like the Path of Lightning thing, the Path of Fire and Lightning thing, like that scaled off of healing effectiveness. Oh, also, like that build used to have now I kind of forgot about this one. Like if you were to see the passives that I had picked, well, not the like if you, there we go. Like if you were to see like these, you'd notice that in Void Knight I have 10 points, and the reason that there's 10 points in Void Knight is that I was using I can't remember the name of the skill, but the something echoes thing, like the one that it does like a spinning thing that like when it hits an enemy, if there's more enemies around, then it'll repeat the attack across that bunch of enemies, and you can turn it into an attack that scales with attunement instead of a vitality. And when you do that, like it becomes a very it was a pretty powerful like fire attack, like group fire attack, but like it didn't work with the build because if you're using Smite to strike down enemies with lightning, and then going and trying to propagate like fire explosions on enemies that are nearby you, then one or the other isn't going to be doing anything. Either you're not going to be using Smite, or you're not going to be using the fire explosions. So again, it was It was, like it was either, you weren't using one part of the build or you weren't using another part of the build. And so it didn't make sense to keep that part. So, like but that was another one that I get kind of scaled with the healing effectiveness from Holy Sigils. And so I had a lot of different synergies that existed in that build before, and then like the version that I made the video for, like that one is much stronger. Like it is many times stronger, and and obviously like the gear that I have on that character is just crazy. Like that's gear that I put on that character before they got to this chapter. Like that character is basically an in-game gear as a like a level 58 character. Just because I had played through the game with so many characters that by the time I got around to actually gearing them all, I just had so many like shards and so I had so much gear that I was just able to make anything that I could think of for gearing my characters. I was able to do. And speaking of, there's actually something really important that I need to do that I keep on forgetting about, and I'm going to do right now. We are going to add a new rule today. And that rule is that we are going to be looking for helmets with the subtype Falconer helm. Now I want to recolor that red. I want to emphasize no red. Update it. Then I want to make another rule where I recolor red. Where the item type is the body armor. Falconry armor. And then we're going to make 2 more rules. Actually, so I'm going to duplicate both of these. And make one that is looking for that same thing, except that this one's going to be emphasized, because it's also going to have the condition that it wants the helmet with dexterity, I don't remember if minion can go on helmet. Actually, yeah, let me go confirm what can go on what before I do that. Minion damage can be on amulet, ring, relic, gloves, belt. Yeah, so not helmet. Helmet. Find something that goes on the head. Yeah, helmet. Can you not put that as a search criteria? Can't. Okay. And dexterity was definitely... It would put on a helmet. Yeah. Definitely put dexterity. Vitality. Yeah. Dexterity, vitality. Like, I'm good with any resistances. Current can roll. I don't have any. I don't have any endurance shards, really. Okay, that's what it was. Endurance can roll. Gloves, helmet, shield, belt, ring, relic. Dexterity, vitality, endurance. Endurance threshold. Any of those. Any resistance. This one can only be on a helmet. That can only be on body armor. That can only be on helmet. Okay. And that's the most important one for us to have on helmet. And so it's more important for us to have dexterity and falconry on our helmet than it is for us to have vitality or the Cinder Strike upgrade. Yeah, so I won't include... Yeah, they're only prefixes. Yes, I won't include vitality or anything other than falconry. Dexterity. Cold elemental, fire, lightning, necrotic, poison, void, all resist. Endurance, physical resistance, endurance threshold. What does parry do? It's the only one of these in the game. Own category. What does parry do? Rogue and level falconry. Okay. If I rose any of those, then we recolor red and emphasize. And for the armor, yeah, we don't have anything that we can confirm using the shards that we currently have. I have to make assumptions on that one. We know that we can get dexterity or vitality on the chest. Dexterity, vitality. You can't get endurance or endurance threshold on chest. So whatever resistances we can get. Dexterity, vitality. We know minion damage can't roll on chest. One of our resistances. Bonuses to Cinder Strike. Puncture. Dive Bomb. Aerial Assault. I mean, Dive Bomb, well, I mean, just in case. Net. This might actually be a good one for us to get. Okay. Any of those on a falconry armor. We'll emphasize and color it red. Okay. I mean, those shouldn't be showing up anytime soon, but like sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes like enemies will drop items that are like much higher level than the areas you're currently in. I don't know what causes it, but it's been like, I mean, it might be a bug, but like it's been something that's been in the game forever, like forever, like since the original Kickstarter demo, forever.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I don't mind blowing our money on those items. Plus 89. Okay. Let's start the chapter.
There you are.
What are you doing out here?
I've been questioning things. My devotion to Lagon. Despite years of telling myself things would get better, they never have.
You alright?
I needed a change of scenery. Also, I'd like you to take this. My idol of Lagon. Hopefully it can help someone else.
What do you want me to do with your idol?
There's a shrine just outside the city. People leave idols there to protect others on their travels.
That seems more than fair. I'll do it.
How did you enjoy the trip?
It wasn't that bad.
Glad to hear it.
Never mind that. You know the status here?
I do not. Though be on guard, you will need to arrange a caravan to Majelka.
You accompany me?
Unfortunately, no. There are things I need to take care of here. I'd apologize, but I feel like you can handle yourself. I do recommend you seek out the Sapphire Nagasa before you go.
Ask around.
Good. Then I'll see you in Majelka.
What can you tell me about Soreth Ka?
Only as much as I know. It has changed a lot. Soreth Ka is small, but sea transport helps it grow. It's the only place you'll find Sapphire Nagasa other than their temples. Here they have autonomy.
Any idea where I should be looking for the Sapphire Nagasa?
Thankfully, they aren't hard to find. Look for anything big and scaly at the end of the docks.
What are the Nagasa exactly?
They are not that different from you and I, just reptilian. In that sense, they're no more different than Wengari or Osprix. They follow Majasa, or at least they used to. There's some division amongst their ranks.
Ranks?
They follow a caste system. I only know Sapphire. You would have to ask someone more knowledgeable to hear more.
I think I'm ready. See you soon. Huh. The Wengari aren't human. Never noticed. You don't look like you're here with a shipment of copper, are you? Why do you ask? Someone is supposed to be stopping by with a shipment of copper ingots. Apparently they're new. Now it's trying to help them get into the swing of things. I can hardly remember his name, but apparently he's reputable. I've already paid for half the shipment. but the copper I received was absolutely terrible. I'll leave you to it.
Farewell.
Stranger, what are your thoughts on the Nagasa? Why'd you ask? Never been a fan myself. Seem hard to trust, like they're always scheming something because they think we're too stupid to notice. Know what I mean? Haven't thought about it. But then you've got all those different kinds too. Emerald, ruby, diamond. They're all the same to me. Then you've got the sapphire ones. I don't much mind them. Come to think of it, I only see them around here too. Not sure why they stay here, but they seem friendly enough. I'll be going.
Gods be with you.
This simply won't do. What else can... Oh, you there. Are you familiar with any of the Scalebane? Can't say that I am. Why? Listen, I'm being conspired against. Those Nagasa are undercutting my prices across the market. They're trying to drive me out of business. No one will buy my goods at the prices I need to make a profit. And I just know it's all because of those damn Nagasa. Why do you think that? I just do. Say a few bad things about them and poof, business dries up overnight. Wish you luck.
Farewell.
Go that way.
Yes?
I'd bet you're on your way to Majoka. How'd you guess? Everything here ends up in Majoka, one way or another. Well, you're a nook. It's a sight to behold. I'd be out there myself if I didn't have to keep helping my parents out in Soreth Ka. Things okay? Yeah, they're just old. Dad's forgetting who he is. Someone's got to keep feeding them and keeping them alive, you know? I get it. Anyway, watch out for yourself on those roads. Only way most people get out is with large caravans that scare off wildlife. Not sure if you'd have that luxury. Thanks for the tip. I'll be wary.
Stay safe.
Yes?
Isn't Soreth Ka gorgeous? I moved here years ago from the Thema. From Themia. There's a Thema and a Themia. And I've never regretted it. And to think, I first moved here for a girl. Gorgeous thing. But it never panned out. Sorry to hear that. In the end, I couldn't find a reason to leave. Food is great. There's hardly a better place for trading. I know it's not a popular opinion, but some of those Nagasa are pretty cute too, wouldn't you say? Scales, tails, what's not to like? Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. The girls in particular, gorgeous things. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Good we met. Indeed.
I've never seen you around here, yet I have heard of you.
Good things, I hope.
More so that wherever you go, trouble and bodies soon follow. Would you care to dispute that?
Can't say that the rumors are wrong.
I appreciate your honesty. I enjoy the relative peace and quiet we've managed to establish for Soreth Ka. The Osprix have generally left us alone, and knowing your reputation with them, I can't imagine that'll be the case if you stay here long.
The Ospreys are no fan of mine. I'd rather not run into them.
Nor am I a fan of theirs. If you head out to the crossroads, you should encounter the staging area for our trade caravans. Talk with them and they'll take you to Majelka. They'll know who you are.
I appreciate the help. Alright. Before we go off for glorious murder, let's go and start breaking some stuff down. I always like to pick whatever is the biggest items first. Now this has potential for an actual chess piece, so. Anything that isn't a dungeon item, idle, unique, or set item, I want to focus on getting out of here. Just have health on them.
Can I help you?
All right. I'll line up all of our uniques in the same spot. And all of our set items. And then all of our relics, we'll put it here. That's all of those. So now let's go and do these. Alright, so that's all the small idols. Now we can send these in. Alright. Now all of our idols are on that side, all of our that down. Alright. Now we have some semblance of order in here. And anything that's nothing, none of those, let's try to move as many as possible into the other side, or the other two areas. Okay. Yeah, so we have done a lot of cleaning. I like it. I like it a lot. Always the first set of enemies. So I wonder if like the reason that happens. I was thinking that like it had to do with like loading like the AI scripts for the enemies. That's what I was thinking was causing. That's what I was thinking was causing like that issue with you know, like, you know, because you have like so many enemies loading at, you know, so many enemies, like, you know, that you're fighting at the same time. I was thinking like it was like however like the swarm AI works, and that it was something to do with that. But I think maybe it's not the AI. Maybe like what's causing like that weird slowdown is actually
Not happening.
like maybe like it's actually like the damage tables, you know, like you know, like it recognizes that, you know, damage is about to, like on one side or the other, it recognizes that damage is about to occur, but, you know, doesn't have a way to process that, and so then like it goes to pull up the, you know, like the table or whatever it is that is used for allowing that interaction to occur, and that's why it goes down. Because it needs to do that for like every skill that the,
Not happening.
you know, that the user has and everything that all the enemies have. I got another key. They'll void damage and chance to cast Void Rift on kill. Nope. I do not care for that. All of them leveled up together. Interesting. Alright, so remember to go this way. Next time we get that, which should go and make our Falcon pop off a little more. We don't have crit, so we're not going to bother going this way. Don't care about that direction. Don't care about that direction. I'm not really sure what this means. Falcon Screech on you at low health. And then like the description there is the Falcon moves to you when a hit leaves you at low health. And that the effect of it coming to you will interrupt any skill it's currently using. I don't see value in going for that. I would not. Yeah, so just working on this. And then this. Anything after that will be for later. Right, and now we have max shatter, so when we use our traps, we have a much more powerful armor shred. Means that any enemy that we trap is going to get torn up by our Falcon. Yeah, the physical resistance shred, I'm not sure if it's worth investing in that one. Because we can get it to 100. But, I mean, the only source of bleed we have is our puncture and our net. But we're not really investing in the bleed part of net. I mean, I guess like we could go this direction. We already know that caltrops aren't really anything special. Like, it might be worth it to invest in strongly woven. Go pump that. Be the idol right there, I guess.
Not happening.
Hey. Upper Shrine. Shrine stands before you. Its candles are lit, but it is lacking in idols or tribute. Place Harton's idol on the shrine. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that when we get back, it'll probably be like a note or something. And the guy, like, I couldn't face, like, not, like, living without faith, or something like that. Yeah, because that first guy... that first guy had the shadow on him. I automatically assumed that it was like a boss and went hard on him, and there was no need. He was nobody. Okay, now it's daytime here. Yeah, because when we went over there, I was like, oh, I don't remember this place being it being nighttime when we first got here. And so I guess I get time of day changes as you get further. Okay, so we're still here.
I can't believe the Ospreys would destroy the crossroads. Soreth Kar doesn't have a standing military. They're here on Raya's orders. Is that what he wants?
I think this is just a symptom of what Raya wants.
I wonder, have I been blind to it? Have the gods always been this way?
It won't do you any good dwelling on the past. Dwelling in the past.
I suppose you're right. Please, take care.
What are you gonna do now?
I'm not sure. So much of my life was devoted to Lagon. And now,
Any ideas?
no, not yet. And I think that's okay.
Are you taking all this?
Don't you worry about me. I'll be fine. Things will turn out how it's supposed to.
Care yourself.
I suppose dodging Osprix is off the table now.
What's your plan? What's the plan?
Fortunately, there's another path, but that puts us in Scalebane territory.
Yo, Bane.
They're a group of glorified bandits, organized. Would not like company.
Where we headed?
There's a dried river that heads straight to Majelka. That should get you close to the city. Unfortunately, you'll go alone. There are a few things I need to take care of here.
What do you know about the Scalebane?
They are bad news. Once, they hated the Nagasa rule and formed a resistance. They eventually became corrupt themselves.
Why the shift?
I am not sure. They started by asking the public to pay for their services. Asking became demanding. Now, they're no better than Nagasa. Citizens are trapped between two evils.
What are you doing in Soreth Ka?
I'll figure out how to pay for our journeys forward. They don't come cheap. There's also the issue with the Nagasa. I must declare our arrival.
Why?
I'm chieftain. It is what I must do. I also want to ask about their traders. If we keep them safe, we can leverage that.
Really thought this out.
Like I said, it is part of being chieftain.
We headed out then.
Farewell.
Yeah, so it looks like they all say the same stuff. Oh, we got a Temporal Sanctum key.
Can I help you? Stay safe, traveler.
Not gonna go in there right now.
Hello.
You look rather capable. Would you please hear me out? Might as well. Appreciate it. 2 days ago, my partner headed off through the dunes to try to chart out a new pathway for our trade route. He hasn't come back. Why not just take the main road? Because that's exactly where exactly where the Scalebane want us. They have spots there. They have spots they shake merchants down on the main road. You can't fight back unless you want to end up dead in a ditch somewhere. Hiring protection is only marginally better. They charge such high rates. I worry about breaking even. What should I do to find a friend? I'm a realist. The chances they survive the week are slim to none. I just want to know what happened. You will receive compensation if you find their remains and deliver what is salvageable to my associate in the city. You'll be able to send word of what you find to me via messenger falcon. I'll keep an eye out. No promises.
Stay safe.
Yeah, so what I'm about to say is gonna seem like an insult, but I kind of feel that like the person that came up with like the storytelling mechanisms in this game like had a different game in mind when they started development. Guess I interacted with whatever was there. Because the way the storytelling works in this game, like if you ever played like a Gothic game or a Risen game or that newer one that came out, Outward, yeah, Outward or Elix, ever played any of those kind of games? Like the storytelling very much feels like this should be that kind of game. You know, or like, you know, like it's meant for that kind of game. Because like in a game like this, choice-based like dialogue trees don't matter. Choice-based dialogue trees matter in a game where the choices you make affect the way that you can build your character. You know, like if it doesn't have a mechanical benefit, then again, like then you're adding complexity to like a storytelling for no reason. Like I'm all for like adventure games and stuff. It's just that like I feel that like adventure gaming doesn't make sense in this type of game. You know? Like if there's if it's an adventure game, then there shouldn't be an overarching narrative. If there is an overarching narrative that has to do with your character, then there shouldn't be like opportunities for you to have agency in the story. Because then like, you know, there'll always be moments where like, you know, like you lose immersion because of the fact that the game is trying, I guess, is signaling to you that that your choices matter, and then or like who you are matters, and then it'll do things where like, oh, we're gonna take away your agency and make it that
Happening.
like this character is the one doing everything, this character is the one like making things move forward. But in this type of game, having other characters to move the story forward is that's there's nothing wrong with that at all. And the reason for that is that like Diablo 2, like who your character is doesn't matter. They're just like they're the one following the story, seeing where it goes. And that's the path that like most games in this genre follow. Is that who you are doesn't really matter. But this game is very much trying to create player agency. And that makes it that, like you immediately get taken out of the story anytime like any like major players come into play. It's just like developer, unfortunately, like a lot of developers don't really think about that kind of thing when they develop the stories for their games, which is unfortunate. The missing merchant's corpse rests in the mud of the dry riverbed, covered in strange burns. What could have caused this? Hello. Yeah, I should be making sure that my bird can't see you before you see me. This is actually like one of the better experimental bonuses you can get. But, you know, it's not good on this particular piece of equipment.
Not happening. Not happening.
Here's the super broken NPC. Well, I mean, he was super broken when I was playing as my paladin. As this character, he might not actually get a chance to do anything.
Thank you for the assist there.
Oh, sorry, that was Eric.
Bind, and you got me out of it. I won't forget it.
And so he was the undead spy master. Means that, like, the admiral guy is either someone else that we've met before the Imperial era, or someone we're going to meet during the Imperial era, before the Imperial era. Yeah, but I have a feeling that, like, the Undead Empire, like, is probably the result of like, what are they called? The Gasa? I think they're probably to blame. That's why, like, the only, like human habitable, like, town is run by the Nagasa in the Imperial era. You want to tell me why they had you locked up?
I could have gotten out of it at any point. But I was choosing to wait until nightfall to slip out undetected. You happened to come by and made that plan irrelevant. Besides, I didn't want to try my chances with so many of them if I didn't have to.
I don't doubt it. But you're avoiding my question.
Perhaps I'll tell you along the way. I presume you're headed towards Majelka as well, correct?
It might be.
Well, if you are, I may be able to lend a hand. You're obviously able to handle yourself just fine. But I know my way around the dunes, and I have connections in Majelka.
Ooh.
You helped me. Let me return the favor.
Fine. But you're going to tell me more as we travel.
I can't complain about that offer. You ready to head out then?
Let's go.
The Scalebane were never meant to be common thugs. The Scalebane use these to stage ambushes on people and trader caravans. Makes me sick to see them exploit our people like this.
And we need to go into these little cavern entrances, so...
These tombs, supposedly, hold untold levels of wealth.
This is called bad game design. You can't, like in a game where you can literally pick up tons of coins as your currency, you can't make like piles of treasure that the player can't interact with. Does it? That's just dumb. Like, why in the world wouldn't I be picking all of this up?
The owners of the garden care more about being buried with their wealth, instead of letting it get into the hands of anyone undeserving after they die. I'd love to clear them out at some point. We've got far too much to do right now. They don't deserve these statues. There's nothing to celebrate. The Nagasa rule over their people. Nothing to help them. The snakes in Sorethka are the only redeemable ones, but not by much.
Okay. We cleared out this side. That's where we came out from. No? It's not.
Not happening.
So that's probably where that other exit led out to.
Not happening. Not happening.
Yeah, so those big dudes, we do not want them to swing down on us. We have an incredibly powerful downward swing attack.
Not happening. Not happening.
Change is coming. I understand your fear.
Things are finally getting interesting. Are you sticking around to watch? I find interesting. Word on the street is the Scalebane are trying to make some moves. They might have access to merchants who are sick of Nagasa's hold on the desert. They may have provided them with some new gear. And why are you telling me this? If you ask it around, you'll find most everyone here feels the same as I do. Gilbane aren't great, but they're a means to an end. There was a time where people speaking out against the Nagasa would disappear. I feel that won't be the case for long. Sounds like times are changing.
Farewell.
Yeah, could also be that the Scalebane are the reason for Imperial era, but I don't know. That scene, game crashed. Let me stop the recording. And they're back. Oh.
Too long have we all been bound by the chains of fate. I will shatter them, along with who would seek to bind me. Freedom will be our future. My future. At any cost.
Yeah, that definitely didn't used to happen. I'd do whatever business you came to here quickly. A weird way to say that. And leave just as fast. Things are getting dangerous. What's going on? It'd be easier to ask what isn't. Galebane have decided to drop all pretext of being noble bandits and decided to undergo a hostile takeover instead. They've taken over the slums and lower districts while the Nagasa seal themselves away. So far, they've refused to answer any questions. I wouldn't be surprised if we have an all-out war on our hands in the next month or so. Keep that in mind.
Yes?
I've always found Majoka to be a bit of a paradox. How so? Well, just take a look. We have one of the largest concentrations of homeless out of anywhere in the world, and we pack them all together into slums and terrible housing. People have to fight just to earn enough to survive here. Yet, if you move a few districts up, you can walk on roads made of literal gold. I've seen multiple people slaughtered by guards just for trying to pry off gemstones from buildings in order to feed their families. I don't advocate theft, but I also don't think these people are given a chance. We can both agree on that one. I was sent to Falcon bearing a message to expect you. Well, have you found the merchant yet or not? Yes, I have. Presume it's bad news then. Fortunately, he was killed. I understand. Alright, thank you for your work. Here's his month's pay. He obviously won't be needing it anymore. Moved on rather quickly. Rather I fling myself to the ground and weep at your feet. I've made my peace. I only hope the Osprix move on as soon as possible so others won't have to avoid the main road. I'll be heading out now.
Farewell.
You have a new side quest. You'd be available for another job? Would I be tracking down another merchant? Actually, yes, you would. I fear she's met a similar fate. On the off chance she's alright, I'd like to know. Should I start looking? Start near the oasis. I'm sure you've heard of it. There are all sorts of creatures that way. Fear she might have gotten caught out there. Did you know?
Farewell.
Can I help you? Safe, traveler. Can I help you?
Hello, travelers. Busy day in the Jewel of the Desert as always, despite the troubles. What can you tell me about this? Oh no, sir. I refuse to deal with grave robbers. Let me tell you exactly what I think of your ilk. The man leans closer and whispers. I have a contact in Majoka slums. You'll know him when you see him. Deal.
Yes.
That was a better speech than last time, but the new vessel maiden still fails to impress. What happened last time? It was a catastrophe. Some of us liked how things were run with the Nagasa in charge. If they're going to if they're going to present something like that, well, it's no wonder people's faith are waning. Couldn't have been that bad, could it? Would have to have been there, but it was a mess. She seemed like she barely knew what to say. She was constantly fumbling. And then she could hardly look at her people in the eyes. I've never heard of a vessel maiden being so disrespectful. The one just now was strange, but better than before. Take your word for it.
Was it just me, or was that speech unusual? I don't know much about their customs, but it is the first time I've heard of their temple being closed.
Who's that on the balcony?
That was the vessel maiden, Apophis. She aids Majasa with little power of her own. The authority lies with Majasa herself and her diamond matrons. Apophis is a figurehead, and, according to rumors, a sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
As the rumor goes, vessel maidens are sacrificed to rejuvenate Majasa's power. And if that's true, the sacrifices are older than the city itself. It is not my place to speculate. But if the rumors are true...
Yes. Oh, I see.
No one is permitted inside the temple of Majasa at this time.
Will the temple be open soon?
Could be days, could be years. There's plenty to see and do in Majelka. Scurry along.
I'm seeking an audience with Majasa. Surgeon.
The temple is closed. Leave. I don't want to see you here again.
What warm hospitality.
Was it just me, or was that speech unusual? I don't know much about their customs, but it is the first time I've heard of their temple being closed.
Something was definitely strange about it.
If we're not able to get inside the temple and speak with Majasa, everything will be for naught.
Made a friend who may be able to lend a hand.
You have a plan. I am not sure if we can trust this friend of yours, but I trust you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, traveler.
Farewell.
I overheard your conversation with the cute brunette over there. I might have a mutually beneficial arrangement. Given how you have no real connections here, I do believe I'm your only option.
Saving your life wasn't enough?
While I obviously appreciate it, I really need your help. Afterward, I'll owe you one.
Oh, me too, and I think about it.
Deal! All right. I want you to help me take over the Scalebane.
Why'd you want to run the Scalebane?
You've seen what they've been reduced to. They're nothing but common criminals nowadays. They were established to help people. But now all they do is prey on the citizens they were made to protect. They're corrupt. And I intend to fix that.
What's your plan after you take over?
A full rework of what the Scalebane stand for. Cutting down on crime and establishing ourselves as an organization that will fight for the common people. After that, I'd like to remove the Nagasa from the equation. They've always taken advantage of their people, and I'll do my part to stop that. But that'll come later, after we've given the populace a bit of hope.
I asked this already, didn't I?
You've seen what they've been reduced to. They're nothing but common criminals nowadays. They were established to help people. But now all they do is prey on the citizens they were made to protect.
Yeah.
They're corrupt. And I intend to fix that. It's well within your abilities, I assure you. I've established quite the reputation for myself here, and I should be able to insert myself into the role of guild leader with relative ease.
But
we have to dispose of the current guild leader first.
then you help me get to the temple?
Absolutely. I've got to drop by the temple for a little errand as well, so this works out perfectly. And hey, if you're looking for a little detour before you dispose of the guild leader, let me know. I might have just the thing for you.
Alright, I'll do it.
Fancy a little extra work? It pays well, and you'll also receive the warm, fuzzy feeling you get from helping out a friend.
Hold the feelings. I don't want you getting me sick.
Now you're just trying to be mean. No matter. You'll just have to direct those feelings towards a new target instead. Because you're going to be working a bounty job for me.
Really? Bounty? Now?
As I'm sure you've gathered, some people around here like the Nagasa, and some hate them. There's one Nagasa in particular that tended to attract more ire than admirers. His name is Arjani, and he's a Ruby Nagasa that serves as a guard captain.
I'm guessing I have to track Arjani down? Then what?
Bring me his head, of course. I'll be around here when the job's done. Let me know if you have any questions.
Can I expect in terms of resistance from Arjani?
Like all other Ruby Nagasa, Arjani is a skilled close-range combatant. I don't know what he's using nowadays, but I've seen him use an axe to hack his enemies apart. He also has an innate talent for controlling fire, and I'd expect him to use it during your fight.
Or does someone want Arjani dead?
Even in the best of times, he was what some would consider cruel. As you know, the Temple of Majasa is locked up tight, and our friend wasn't invited. Now he's lashing out and killing people he deems as a threat to his life. I think whoever ordered the hit just wants the violence to stop.
What can I expect? Oh, will do. Alright. So... Oasis Hunt is that way. The story quest is that way. But doing this one first might move the story quest that way. Put this one in... to make this one something we can do on the way. Do this one first. Lower District. Which is Lower District? Upper District. This should be a Lower District. Yep. I've never found the Rune of Ascendancy. Thing.
Let's straighten him out.
I want to head up first because I don't like. I was thinking that was probably leading to a different area. Now that I'm thinking about it, probably makes more sense that it's probably a like just an objective, not an area. Did not expect it to go that far. Okay. There's more reach on our movement skill than I ever realized.
Not happening. Yeah, so there's some objective. I love this build so much. Not happening.
Oh, actual pigs. Bang, down pig, dead. Just deeping. Yeah, I think it's breathing.
Easy. Too easy. Not happening.
Got a mage down there. Interfere. Hey. That's funny. Who said that? I'm pretty sure like the voice line happened after we already killed them all. I don't think it was one of the people we killed. All right.
Can I help you?
Well, well, well. What are you doing in a place like this? Ideally, trying to walk inside. Ah, that's a shame. It's a members-only sort of deal. I might be able to get you a pass, for a fee, of course. How much is that going to cost me? Usually, I'm pretty lenient on the fee. However, you look like you could cough up, let's say, 100,000. All about giving back to those in need and all that. I'm heading inside. Feel free to stop me. That's a shame. Must not value your life very much. Come on, boys. Let's teach this trespasser a little bit about sharing. Prepare for battle. Hello. Goodbye. Huh, interesting. The Temporal Sanctum leads here. Actually, an alternate leveling path to getting to this point. Level up.